Hey guys, it's Flouge. I know I haven't done a video for a while, and I've wanted to do a review of Rainbow Six Siege. It hasn't been out overly long, but it's been out enough. And so I played it some, and Rainbow Six Siege is interesting to me because it has an interesting history. I don't know if most of you know, but it was first going to be a full-fledged game. It was going to be called Rainbow Six Patriots, and they pulled it off. They canceled the title back in 2013, I think it was, or 14, when the Boston bombing happened during the Boston Marathon, because there was a terrorist attack in the game that happened for the plot of the story that was very closely related to what happened in Boston. And so they pulled it, and they did express that they were going to work on another game, but we didn't hear any word for a while. And then Rainbow Six Siege was mentioned, like I think a couple years later, that they were making it, and so this is the result of that. So Rainbow Six Siege is not a fully fledged game. There's not really a campaign or anything. They took the multiplayer aspect and some of the training aspects that they were going to have in Patriots, and just have that as a game in itself in Siege. So Siege is the result of all of that mess with Patriots. I was worried for a while that they weren't going to even do a Rainbow Six game, but I'm glad that they saved some of it and sold it. The fact that it was still $60 when it came out sucks, because it's not worth $60. Right now you can pick it up for about like $42, $45 at GameStop. But yeah, brand new version, as far as I know, is still $60, so it's not worth that. But some things that you can do in the game is you have situations. So there's 10 of them, and each one gets progressively harder as you go through it. Plus there's objectives. There's also operators. So each type of operator is good at doing a certain thing or has a special skill or whatever. So I'll show you real quick here. There's different groups or special forces from around the country. It gives a little blurb about where they started or who they are, and then some of their abilities. So if I just select Spetsnaz here, there's 4 different types. So there's 2 attackers and 2 defenders, and it'll show you what their special skill is, their primary weapon, secondary, and their gadget, and etc. And you can actually customize your weapons too, which is cool, but you have to spend the points that you earn through playing the game to get the upgrades. Most of the special things that each operator can do is very much geared toward working as a team, like helping revive teammates, or giving an extra large shield, or putting down a gun emplacement, or things like that. Like this guy can actually put down a gun emplacement that the entire team can use, which is awesome if you're just defending, right? They do have a shop. I'm going to see if I can get it to load here. But yeah, the shop is just working on buying credits in the game. So if you don't want to grind towards something in the game, you can just technically buy credits and then use those credits to spend money. So like here's a good example here. This is a featured 8-ball. I can either spend 360 credits, or I can spend 15,000 renown points, and the renown points is what you get for completing ops and stuff like that. So, and you can certainly customize things to death. You can get charms, weapon skins, headgear, boosters. There's digital content too that they're starting to release for the game already, and all that kind of stuff, which is honestly kind of nice. So again, it's not a full game, but you can work on buying stuff. Some of the content they have released quite a bit of is that you can buy weapon skins, which in a way is cool, but again, weapon skins is just a cosmetic thing. It doesn't actually do anything for yourself, and a lot of them are pretty flashy, so they're pretty easy to see from a distance. And since most of these maps are pretty small anyway, You know, a gun that's neon green and pink is going to be super easy to see at any distance. And for those that play like Battlefield or Realistic on War Thunder or anything like that, you know that camouflage is useful even at small distances. So, so I'm going to play a bit here. I'm going to show you a situation. These are kind of like training areas or things you can practice on. And then they also have terrorist hunt, which there's more enemies around and stuff like that. So I will probably epically fail. I will play on realistic, and of course the higher difficulty you have, the more renown you'll get at the end for completing the situation. So
report to the SAS base in Hereford. You are to infiltrate the kill house and clear the area of enemy combatants. In close quarters combat, operators must rely on situational awareness to locate and identify threats and assets. Secure the area using a slow and methodical sweep. Here, you will face a trained enemy, equipped with military-grade weapons and explosives. You will need to rely on basic muscle discipline and your ability to reduce exposure to enemy fire by using the environment. Never stop until the threat is neutralized.
And something I'll say too is that the attachments or upgrades that you can get for your firearm is they're actually useful. They're not just cosmetic. They're not just for looks. They actually do something. So. You cannot pick up any of the guns or anything. And playing on realistic is extremely hard. Woo! You miss it all and it's pretty much over. Oh, I flashed myself. I have no idea if he's dead. I'm probably gonna just suck at this. Woo! Still got him. Yeah. So. One thing I do like is that how automatic weapons behave, the difference between an automatic versus your pistol, or how a flashbang operates. All that is fairly realistic, which I like. I haven't played on any of the other modes or difficulty levels, just realistic, because that's what I enjoy. Oh man, it can happen that fast. So let me try it again. This one I have played before, so I know where all of the players are, but I am trying to play just based off a sight and actually clearing a room properly, which I'm probably doing terrible at for those that know how to do it. So yeah, if you don't complete the mission, you get just a little bit of renown, not really much. Most of the things that you can buy are anywhere from like 100 to 500 renown. So, and there are some things that are in the thousands, so if you fail a lot, it's not like you're going to be able to get there very quickly. So, yeah. So your success is going to be... or you getting renown is going to be based off of your successes, not your failures. Oh, shoot. Woohoo. Okay. Something that's very cool too is you do have some gadgets. So like, I have this little teeny camera bot that allows me to kind of drive around corners. It's pretty small, but I can drive around corners and see where the enemy is. Oh, saw movement. Coming out in force. Holy crap. Bam! Woo! Holy cow. The multiplayer is that you can have up to 5 players per group. So one of you is usually defending a property or something, and the other one is trying to breach in and attack and do a situation just like what I'm doing now. So yeah, it's 5 on 5, so it's not very big. The maps are very small from what I've seen so far. But it is quite a fun game. So if you're looking for a game that's very challenging, that's extremely competitive, this is certainly the game for you. So with that, or wait, well, let's see. Let me show you a little bit about what the customization is like. So this guy I've unlocked already, and his special ability is that he uses thermite to blow through any type of wall, pretty much. So you can go to your loadout. You can choose what primary weapon you want. I, of course, like the semi-automatic. I'm better with that. And then you can start buying attachments and charms and stuff like that. So there's visual customization. Those aren't necessarily going to do anything for you. The charms themselves, of course, they're very expensive, but they're not going to do anything for you. They're just for look. And then these up here, the attachments, they actually do stuff for you. So there's 4 different characteristics of your gun. There's damage, fire rate, mobility, and capacity. And then something that's cool too is they let you see the recoil pattern of your gun. And every gun has a different type of recoil, or where the rounds are going to go if you keep shooting. Everything from your pistols to your shotguns to your semi-automatics or autos, which is super cool. I actually really like that. So this one I have equipped. All you have to do is just buy it, and boom, it's on your gun. You don't have to try to change it or anything. You can buy other things. They tell you what they're good for, and then if it does change the characteristic at all, it shows you the difference. So like damage with this, with the suppressor, of course, goes down because the bullet is traveling slower. And you have different optics. And I think 2 different classes of weapons have different type of attachments, and also different operators. So if you have an operator, I know there's one that has an underbarrel attachment, and so he would get some different things to put on his firearm compared to someone else like my guy. So yeah, this is a pretty fun game. I would suggest that if you're waiting for some games to come out like No Man's Sky, super excited for that, and Battlefield 1, that this is a good filler game. This is very competitive. This isn't what I'd call like a casual game. Certainly does not feel like that. But yeah, this is a good filler game. Is it worth the money right now? I'd say, I don't know. I'd probably pay $35 for it. The price that I did pay was probably a little much. Again, it's not a fully fledged game. This is it. So there's just multiplayer and situations. That's pretty much the whole game right there. So I'd say it's worth $35 for being a newer game. I'd be willing to pay that, especially if I had some friends to play. Though, if you do not have other friends that play this game or want to play this game, I wouldn't buy it. Save your money and wait until it's either a lot cheaper, or wait until you have some friends that want to play it with you. So I have some that play this already, so I'll probably be playing with them shortly. But yeah, so that's my review for Siege. Says it is a very fun game. It's very customizable. It is great, but it's not a full game. So I'm really kind of bummed that that happened to Tom Clancy. That really sucks. But hopefully, but yeah, if this is any kind of view of what their future game will be like, what their next game will be like, it's going to be pretty dang good. So I'm actually super excited for that. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'm always up for a co-op and things like that. I do have a couple events. I will be live streaming No Man's Sky and Battlefield 1 as soon as it comes out. I do have some other reviews. I'm also working on some Minecraft projects with a good friend of mine, Tyler. And then, of course, I love co-oping. So I will see you all later, and you guys have a good one.